Hi, I'm Matt Hatton. I'm an industry analyst with Transformer Insights. We're here at the Things Conference in Amsterdam, and I'm joined by Nicolas Sornin of Semtech. Nicolas, welcome.
Hey, hi Matt, thank you so much for having us here.
So this is a very exciting show to be at, talking about all sorts of new and wonderful technologies. Tell me a little bit about what Semtech's got coming up in the next quarter.
Okay, so we very briefly on stage here at the Things Conference announced the basic modem, our new open source stack for LoRaWAN devices.
Okay, and this is to tackle some of the challenges that some of the application developers are facing in deploying LoRa?
Yeah, so I think we should start with this.
Yeah, absolutely.
LoRaWAN is a very fast-growing ecosystems, but as any new technology, you face hurdles that were not predictable, not necessarily predictable. And one of the major hurdles we're facing right now is how do we scale?
Yes.
When you're manufacturing 100 prototypes, you can do basically everything by hand. It doesn't matter. You can put an individual firmware image in every single device. It's okay. It starts to be a lot difficult with 1,000 devices and completely impossible when you want to scale to hundreds of thousands or millions of devices. So most of the hurdles really revolve around how does production scale, how do we automate all this provisioning or personalization processes, how do we make sure that the firmware is rock solid and can go outside in the field for 5 years without crashing, and how do we shorten the development cycles of devices.
Okay, and those development cycles have been causing problems for developers in working with LoRa?
Alors, the hardware is difficult.
Yeah, hardware is hard, we know that.
Yeah, so honestly, so LoRaWAN compared to many other technologies is a simple technology to integrate. It has no stringent requirement on power. You can use very small batteries. It's robust, but it comes with challenges. You need to change the way you think and you operate when you design an application on top of LoRaWAN because it's very low throughput. You can't transport a lot of data. So you need to be clever on what you're transporting or what your sensors are producing. You can't just push everything to the cloud like you used to do with 4G or Wi-Fi. And this is really this mind shift which takes time, people take time to actually find the right clever approach around this.
Now this is a fundamental issue for the Internet of Things because effectively you've got Internet people and you've got things people, right? And the development process for those two parts, it's very different, right? You can't beta test in field if you're deploying a smart meter or if you're deploying some sort of environmental sensor. So you've got to think much more carefully about how you do this development. Right?
That's absolutely right. The usual. So we have an army of programmers out there, but they're not necessarily. They never worked on battery-powered devices. So LoRaWAN customers are like crazy startups. They have a lot of good software ideas, but they're not necessarily ultra. Competent on the hardware side. They never got to them. And on the other side, we have the old industry, super, conscious of all the hardware constraints, but where you don't necessarily have all the software innovation. That we think that. So how do two worlds meet is really the challenge today.
Well, then that's the question. How do you strip out some of that complexity? How do you make it make it easier for those application developers to work with LoRa?
So exactly. So that's a challenge we're trying to addressing with the modem, what we call the basic modem, this new open source code we are introducing in the next quarter.
Yeah.
The idea there is, while still being conscious of all the radio limitation and the power involved in transmitting data, we are trying to abstract as much as possible the specificities of the radio from the application developer.
Okay.
So for the application developer, a LoRaWAN device should look like sending an SMS. Okay, I have an application, it generates 10 SMS per day. That's about it.
Yep.
If I understand this limitation of the SMS concept, then I can work with LoRaWAN. And I should not have to care about in which region am I operating, which version of the stack should I run, how should I adjust my data rate. All those things that are super specific to LoRa, we have implemented industry accepted best practices into this modem code so that the application designer does not have to care about it.
Okay, so it's going to a low code, no code, that's the sort of equivalent that you're talking about, so you can just plug in LoRa into your application almost seamlessly. Is that how you're talking about it working?
The goal is really to make it dumb simple to add a connectivity to an existing object or to an existing sensor, okay? And I like the image of the SMS. You know,
yep.
if what you want to send could fit in an SMS, then it should be absolutely dumb, easy, and transparent for you.
Yeah. Okay.
One of the major hurdle that customers are facing is how to manage security.
Mm-hmm.
Security is extremely complex. Mm-hmm. It's very easy to break the security chain with just one wrong process along the way.
Yeah.
So actually, the way the keys are handled, the way keys are provisioned in the device, requires a lot of know-how. And that's the very basic problem that every customer has faced so far. So this is also what we are addressing directly with that code, is the key provisioning process, key handling,
okay.
etc.
And more broadly on the technology landscape for LoRa, how do you see that developing?
Wildly.
Okay. Well, I mean, you see this event. There's 1,500 people here from 50 countries. It's an amazing event, and such an ecosystem with such a lot of innovation going on in there. What's the Semtech perspective?
So what I think the most striking aspect of this session is Semtech is not the only LoRa provider anymore. ST just announced that wireless MCU implementing the LoRa modulation on top. There'll be others following. So this is really turning into a global ecosystem.
Yeah.
So I think this is the most really striking fact of this session, and I also see more and more clever application combining LoRa with other technologies. So we're seeing satellite, we're seeing global geolocation trackers, integrating LoRa, but LoRa is just one piece of it, right?
Yeah. And the technical complexity of doing that, is that causing you some headaches? How is that working out for you?
From the Semtech point of view, you mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So hardware is hard. Designing a silicon chip is even harder. It takes a lot of brain power. A huge R&D team. In Semtech, we probably have like 70 people working full time on developing our next generation of chip, making it lower power, integrating more functionality, solving this security problem. How do we solve it correctly? But recently, we have added a cloud team to Semtech,
yes,
such that we can, because security is not a device problem. If you don't provide the cloud side of it, or there's no point, right? So we need to be able to provide a full solution,
stack set of capabilities.
So, we are slowly migrating from an old semiconductor company into something that provide a full solution. So we are adding software people, we are adding cloud, we are adding. It's a crazy transformation at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you handle that change management? I mean, that must be a significant challenge for you, right? If you're growing at a significant rate and trying to factor in all these various different technology capabilities, how do you do that? With some difficulty, probably, but it's worth it.
Actually, no, not even. Okay. Let's see why I'm smiling. The beauty is I'm not doing anything. I have a wonderful team.
Okay, that's always good. Always
so
a good
I'd like to thank them really for the awesome work done.
Yeah.
And Grenoble, Neuchâtel, and Rapperswil location. The fact is, I provide inspiration, and really they keep care of the details, which is unbelievably cool for me.
That's excellent, and that's a fantastic note to leave things on. Nicolas, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you so much for having us here. Bye.